I'm sex and relationship coach Caitlin B. And today I'm going to talk to you about two very important but totally underutilized tools that you can use to last longer in bed. So, what are the tools that you could be using? Well, the very first one that most men are not using while they're masturbating is lubricant. That's right, lube. Lube recreates the feeling of having sex with another person, right? Because usually when you're having sex, it's in a warm and wet and smooth environment. And lube helps you to recreate those same sensations, but using your hand. So if you're using your hand, my number one recommendation is that you use a silicone-based lube. This is a couple reasons. Number one, it lasts a really long time, even when it's exposed to air. Number two, when it does dry, it doesn't leave behind any kind of sticky or filmy residue. In fact, it tends to dry to kind of like a satiny, smooth finish. Number three is that it's really great for using with partners, both vaginal sex and anal sex, and it's condom safe. The only catch here is that silicone-based lube should not be used with silicone-based toys, especially not toys that you're going to share with another person. You can get around this by just throwing a condom on the toy, thus protecting it from getting any of the lube on it. But those are some of the primary benefits of silicone-based lube. I recommend using a quality brand like Sliquid or Uberlube. Uberlube in particular because it just comes in these really beautiful clear glass bottles. It's not particularly obnoxious in its graphic design or product design. It looks like it's very subtle. So I highly recommend Uberlube. Plus it comes with a pump, so it's really easy to control how much you actually release out of the bottle. And I promise you, they're not paying me to say this, but they could totally be paying me to say this if they were so interested. They could get my contact information underneath this video. So another reason that you'll want to introduce lube into your masturbation routine is that you'll want to be masturbating for a longer period of time so that you can last longer when you're in bed with a partner. So you might be masturbating for up to 15, even 20 minutes. And I guarantee that you're going to be in danger of chafing if you are going for that amount of time with a dry hand. Don't forget that the skin on your penis is actually pretty soft and sensitive. And using a dry hand can leave it irritated and even chafed. Finally, when you use lube to masturbate, it actually transfers more sensation. Anything that is wet and comes into contact with our skin creates a different kind of feeling than something that's dry and coming into contact with our skin. Not just that, but it shakes up your brain. It breaks you out of your old habits. It provides different kinds of sensations and stimulation, which is exactly what you need if you're changing a habit, especially one that is as strongly conditioned as masturbation. Okay, so lube was tool number one. What's tool number two? Well, tool number two is changing the amount of pressure and the squeeze that you are using in order to bring yourself to climax. So a really popular term in the internet is death grip syndrome. This describes men who use a quote-unquote death grip on their penis while they're masturbating, meaning that they squeeze so hard and so aggressively and with so much pressure that their penis has actually become, their body has become conditioned to requiring that much sensation in order to get off, in order to ejaculate. So there's a couple things that you can do in order to get yourself out of death grip syndrome. And even if you don't think that you're using a death grip, I highly recommend that you utilize these tools. So the first step is just to become aware of how much pressure you are actually using in order to pleasure yourself. When you compare it to a vagina, a mouth, or an anus, is it a lot more pressure? Is it a similar amount of pressure? Take the vagina, for example. The vagina definitely doesn't do a death grip. The squeezes, the sensations, the PC muscles, they're way more subtle, way more nuanced than what you can achieve by squeezing your hands. So use a comparable amount of force, a comparable amount of pressure as to what you would experience with someone else's body. If you can't achieve that using your hand alone, in other words, if it's too tempting for you to go back to that tight squeeze that you're conditioned to, maybe that's the way that you started masturbating and so you've only ever masturbated that way, that's okay. In that instance, and even if that's not your challenge, I highly recommend that you invest in a masturbation aid, a masturbation sleeve, a fifi, a fleshlight. Now, these often come with hard plastic tubes around them and they're actually disguised to look like a flashlight. But they make all kinds of shapes, colors, varieties. They make alien versions. They make every skin color, every orifice under the sun you can imagine. invest in one of these things. They are really cheap and they are really, really helpful in retraining your body in order to be stimulated and to reach orgasm with the amount of pressure and sensation that feels like the inside of another person's body. They can be warmed up. They can even be created out of sponges, towels, stuffed animals. I think for the price, they're just worth investing in. And then all you have to do in order to really make it a great experience is drop a couple drops of water-based lubricant inside of the Fleshlight. Now, the reason that you use water-based lubricant is that silicone-based lubricant is sometimes a little bit too thick and can actually create too much friction. The nice thing is that because the Fleshlight is all contained, the lubricant is not going to dry out as quickly as it would if you were using your hands. Water-based lubricant, also really great for use with partners, safe with condoms, and safe with all silicone toys. So actually a win-win-win all the way around. I want to address something that a lot of my clients ask me about death grip syndrome and about their masturbatory practices. They want to know if they've actually damaged the skin or the nerve endings on their penis. Like, have they hurt them to a degree that they can never be returned to their original state of sensitivity? The truth is that just like you can develop a tolerance to anything, what's actually happened is not damage to the nerves as much as your brain becoming tolerant to that amount of stimulation. So this is really great news. This means that you can actually retrain your brain to respond to a lower level of stimulation. You could train your brain so that it doesn't need such an intense level of stimulation in order to reach climax, orgasm, and to ejaculate. This is a process. This isn't necessarily going to happen overnight, just the same way that you didn't come to the place that you are overnight. You are maybe going to have some times where you go to masturbate and you're using lube and you're using the Fleshlight or the masturbation sleeve and you're not able to reach climax because your brain is so used to needing all of that really aggressive sensation and friction and tightness and pressure, and that's okay. Be gentle on yourself. I mean it in multiple ways. Really, truly be gentle with you. Understand that your body's in the process of rewiring all of its circuitry, and that can take a little bit of time. Trust me, eventually with enough stimulation, enough buildup, your body will figure out how to get a release and you will reach climax and you'll be able to do it over and over and over again using the right amount of pressure, the right amount of sensation, the right amount of wetness that recreates the feeling of being with a partner and leaves you with the confidence that you need in order to last as long as you want with anyone who you are hopping into bed with. And ultimately, that is the goal. So please subscribe to my channel. I have so much more information I'm so excited to share with you, not just on how to last longer in bed, but all kinds of other things that I know you're gonna love. And while you're here, leave a comment below. Tell me what else you've used. Tell me your own experiences with the Fleshlights. Not having a penis myself, I've always kind of wondered what it was like. Tell me about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.